So once again, we've got a party whose idea of debate is never having one. Meet Harry Sisson, a hairless Hummel, who looks like a kid in a milk ad before he drinks milk. He just revealed his new plan to beat MAGA. Do you want to fight them?
I want to fight them. I think...
fight them?
Yeah. Like if Stephen Miller would agree, or one of the Trump children, or like anybody in the administration, I want to fight them.
God, you know what? That I would go pay to see on the White House lawn.
That's what I'm saying.
In a UFC.
Why are we doing the UFC event? Why don't we just settle some political beef? I'll take anybody in the White... I boxed for 4 years. And if they want to, I'd get back into training camp, get in the best shape of my life, and go fight one of them.
I would do it too.
Wow. Harry Sisson and Don Lemon, the toughest duo since Donnie and Marie. Oh, come on, Harry. Harry, please. Caroline Leavitt would choke you out before you got your halter top off. Also, you notice how Don was excited to brawl. Apparently, his signature move is a reach around in a dimly lit public bathroom. Let me guess, MAGA is the closest thing to the Nazi party.
MAGA is the closest thing to the modern version of a Nazi party. This is America's version. It's the closest thing without the Holocaust and all that stuff.
Oh, the Nazis, but without the Holocaust and all that stuff. What's left? Why not just say the French? That's like saying Don Lemon reminds us of diarrhea without the watery stools. Which brings us to the recent outbreak of explosive diarrhea hitting 1,500 Americans who chowed down on tainted lettuce. Yeah, Chris Christie suddenly looks like a genius for never eating salad. Good for you, Chris. Of course, Dems don't bother with who grew or sold the produce. It's all on Trump.
These outbreaks happen, but Trump made this one worse. There is a federal program specifically for tracking parasites like this, and it's called FoodNet. But when Trump took a wrecking ball to our federal government, they made it optional to track this parasite.
The experience in Michigan has been abnormally over the last couple of months, because the FDA and the CDC should be there to make sure that lettuce doesn't cause you to sit on a toilet for most of your day.
Once again, they blame Trump for being full of Which brings us to Hunter, who, rather than debate ideas, calls his foes a bunch of sissy boys.
I believe that the biggest problem in America is, in Washington, D.C., with the federal government, is it not the oligarchy.
Closet cases.
It's the closetocracy, as I call it. There is like this closeted gay mafia, largely Republican, that exists in Washington, D.C. And I believe that internal conflict creates so much vitriol inside a person that they take it out on the rest of the world.
Dude, you're not supposed to talk about other people's internal conflict. You claim to be in recovery. You're not supposed to be passing judgment. That's not in the principles, champ. Are you telling us the truth? But at least it's an upgrade from spreading chlamydia. Clip that one, send it to him. Now, all these tactics are really just one. In every conflict, the left will go after the people in the argument and leave the ideas untouched. Want to secure the elections? Well, that's Jim Crow on steroids. Want a strong border? Well, you're a racist. Want repeat criminals in jail? That makes you a fascist. See, I just presented 3 ideas, and the responses heard over and over are always reason-free, because they're easy. You don't need debate prep if you convince everyone that your opponents are evil. Just call Trump a fascist rather than debate immigration. Call me a transphobe rather than attack my ideas regarding trans, biology, or how Caitlyn Jenner looked way hotter in the 1970s. Of course, I go after people too, but I do their ideas first. And when they come at me afterwards, I hit them back. After all, if they call me evil, how is it worse to call them fat? Their no ideas, all smear approach is straight out of Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, when in 1971 the author stressed personalized attacks over abstract ideas. Clearly stated, pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. That way you avoid ideas entirely, because on that turf, of course, as a radical, you would lose, since the ideas are historically indefensible. For 50 years, the left has transformed culture, removing ideas where you could be wrong and replacing it with persons who can be evil. Anyone can do it because there's no need to think. You can punch Trump supporters, try to kill the president, light Teslas on fire, demand us dead. And some of us, well, they end up that way.
Period.
Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's so racist he won't even drink chocolate milk. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. The only bull market he won't go near is The View. Host of Making Money on Fox Business, Charles Page. And she's only a few pounds away from casting her first shadow. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. And he's so big, he takes selfies using Google Earth. Former NWA World Champion and host of the Planet Tower podcast. Tom, so much here in the monologue that you could pick apart, but the overarching umbrella thing is kind of what Breitbart was ranting about 15 years ago.
Exactly. You know, that, you mentioned that on the 5 today. That was the first time I had ever heard of Saul Alinsky.
Really?
And the rules for radicals. No.
Oh, from him?
From Breitbart.
Yeah.
And he used to talk about it all the time. And now everybody knows about it. And it's because of largely his influence and other conservative influencers. Love all those clips of Don Lemon. I love the way he did the boxing.
Yes.
He's like, oh, you wanna fight? It was like he was playing the maracas.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Or something else.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm so glad you pointed out that he doesn't even know how. He's in broadcasting. If you want to call someone a Nazi in a fun way, you don't say without the bad stuff.
Yes.
You got to think of some other ways. Let me help you, Don Lemon. Conservatives are like Nazis without the parades and fashion sense.
Yes, that's how you're supposed to do it. Yeah.
He's like Hitler without that fun little mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like Hitler without the Hugo Boss attire. That's what you would say. But he actually removes the Hitlerism, the Nazi stuff. It makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad you agreed with me.
Also, the first time I've heard the Holocaust called the Holocaust stuff.
Yes.
How do you phrase it again? Like
all that
Holocaust
stuff.
and
If you
stuff.
refer to slavery as stuff, I think you would be offended. So, Charles, what struck you from this monologue? I like how somebody like Hunter Biden can diagnose like secret homosexuality in other people.
Yeah. Well, I've seen plenty of pictures of him with that crack pipe, so he may have a secret. He may know something we don't, yeah? But you got to hit the pipe to get there with him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been there.
Yes.
Okay, so these people are so crazy.
I love it when I love it when you laugh.
The Don Lemon, put him up, put him up, put him up. It's like Looney Tunes, you know? I miss the old Saturday morning cartoons, but when I come on this show, you play them for me. I appreciate it.
You know what I love about you, Charlie? Charles, I just called him Charlie. You swear while you're laughing, so you can't actually tell you're laughing. I think you don't have to bleep that.
He's been on TV a long time. He's a master man.
Between that and a few smacks in the head from my mom, I learned it. You know, oh, Mom.
All right, Kat. What do you think about Hunter musing on the sexualities of Ted Cruz?
Well, first, I wanted to give you a compliment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm really glad that you said that sometimes I do it too.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I might have to be like, okay, but you know, you always say the View is a bunch of sea cows who eat out of a bucket of chum for lunch or whatever.
But you know, my reasoning behind that is that on the hierarchy of smears, going after somebody's morality is worse than calling somebody fat.
I think that it's really bad when ever arguments end up going this way because we the people are what lose when this happens, right? And this does happen to an extent for a lot of different reasons. And both sides have done this when it comes to, for example, having concerns about a war. That means you're pro-terrorist. Or people bring kids into it, like some social issues, like, oh, you don't care about the kids, or liberals will do that with guns. And whenever you're not talking about the issue, we're missing out on the fact that a lot of us, we all really want the same things. We just maybe have different ideas of how to get there.
I don't think the progressives want the same thing.
They want their happiness for their family. They want happiness for their friends. I know plenty of progressives that have families.
Cats. No offense.
But you just did it.
No, but you know,
I have a cat and a family.
But AOC doesn't have. I don't think they have as many kids as traditional.
You didn't have a kid till you were 60.
I know. I was smart. I was very smart. I wasn't going to put my kid through me at 40. Are you kidding? That's child abuse. Her having to listen to me talk politics when I'm drinking. That is definitely abuse. See?
I think it's better the way we actually solve problems is focusing on what we have in common and not believing what media and politicians tell us we should believe about each other.
I agree, but I think you're missing the point completely, and that's okay. Because
so my whole second book was about.
Yes.
Is what I just said.
But the point being is that they are not interested in the debate of ideas. They have found a way for 50 years to target the person. So they don't have to talk about ideas.
Well, they don't have ideas, they have a script. That's why they audition for these roles. And then whenever you catch them without the script, without being told what to say, they say embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like AOC said Jim Crow started the Senate. You know what I'm saying? Like because no one gave her a script. Mm-hmm. So the progressives, by definition, these communists, they just go by scripts. But I think one of the things that I think we should hold them to some of their ideas. If they want to blame President Trump for bad lettuce, I say, okay, let's blame him. Let's stick with that formula. He let something into the country that hurt people. So shouldn't we be calling the Biden administration? Because they let someone's into the country that killed people. So shouldn't the police be heading to arrest some of those people? Based on that, we can blame him for lettuce, and then we can blame the people who let 10 million illegal aliens into this country, and every woman that was raped or killed, those politicians should be arrested and held accountable. I'm fine with that. So he can get us better lettuce, and they can be held accountable for the invasion of this country.
I like that.
And one last thing.
Yeah.
Mr. President, if you're watching, may I please have a job for a day? I would like to work at the White House for the day, and you could fire me. And then I'm your huckleberry to that guy. I'll fight him.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
But Greg, are you trying to say that you have no liberal friends you can have conversations with?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the modern progressive movement.
I would say the people that you showed in your monologue, to be clear, are not interested in having conversations.
Yes.
Maybe we were saying different things. I'm talking about, like, the people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, we're dealing with something within the Democrat Party which has no interest in your noble beliefs or any beliefs for that matter. I don't even think they have beliefs, which is sad. Or else they'd want to debate. That's what scares me.
Only thing that's going to work is if we start talking to each other.
I think we've done enough talking. It's time to dance.
It solved every movie in the 80s.
Yes, let's dance, everybody!
Every movie in the 80s was solved by a dance theme.
Exactly.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.